ABS MD seeks end to gender-based violence. NAS called on FG to freeze refineries and fuel importation. On the foreign scene, University of Pennsylvania loses $100 million grant over anti-Jewish remark. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good evening and welcome. My name is Chinyere Ikoreke. Anambra State government warns potential armed robbers, bag snatchers, touts, cultists, kidnappers, and others planning to operate anywhere in the state. The government said it is determined to ensure a fun-filled celebration of Christmas and New Year celebrations for Anambra returning this season and those residents in the state. This warning is contained in a press release signed by the State Information Commissioner, Sir Paul Nwosu. The release states that any who plies any of these illegal trades is advised to respectfully and quickly leave Anambra State. Otherwise, the person will celebrate Yuletide in handcuffs and shackles. It also stated that Anambra State Police and vigilant groups are on red alert to deal with any merchant of crime this festive season, and those with such criminal tendencies have no hiding place in Governor Chukwuma Soludo's Anambra State. The Women Committee of the Nigerian Labour Congress Anambra State chapter has called for end to violence against women and girls. Emmanuel Chibata reports.
During a courtesy visit to the Managing Director of Anambra Broadcasting Service ABS, Sashido Obidiegu, the committee led by Mrs. Eukaria Uyawune emphasized the crucial role of the media in raising awareness towards tackling gender-based violence. Mrs. Uyawune, who highlighted the dire situations faced by victims, underscored the urgency of increasing advocacy to end the menace. According to her, the committee seeks collaboration with ABS to amplify their message and curb the disturbing trend of gender-based violence while recognizing the power of media in shaping public perception and promoting social change.
We cannot do anything without media. That is media that will help us to create enough awareness so that the masses will know exactly what we are saying and what this violence and girl-child abuse.
Responding, Sashido acknowledged the global concern over heightened gender-based violence and pledged ABS commitment to the ongoing sensitization campaigns. While commended the committee's initiative as laudable, the ABS boss explained that gender-based violence also affects both men and boys and stressed the importance of addressing the root causes of the issue.
It makes it very, very important that issues that pertain to women we must take very, very seriously, and anybody that goes violent against a woman should be punished. In fact, there should be capital punishment. There should be capital punishment for anybody who goes violent, towards a woman. And I make bold to say that. So whatever support you guys need from ABS, I can assure you we'll give you that. Whatever support.
In her remark, the Vice Chairman of the Congress, Comrade Esther Igwegwe, thanked ABS for their support and pledged continued partnership with the media.
We are thrilled by your reception and we thank God for you. May God keep on blessing you, helping you in what you're doing, with your families and your office work. In Jesus' name.
The delegation included the chairperson of women journalists in Anambra State, Comrade Franklin Onyekachi, who called for a united front in the fight against gender-based violence. Emmanuel Shibata for ABS News.
Anglican Diocese of Ihiala has ordained new priests, collated canons, archdeacons with a charge for them to live up to the responsibility of shepherding God's flock. In order to constantly meet the spiritual needs of God's flock in Ihiala Anglican Diocese and beyond, 2 ordinands have been ordained, deacons and 2 deacons made priests by the Bishop of the Diocese, Right Reverend Professor Israel Okoye. Correspondent Kenichi Kuchku filed the report.
Bishop Okoye, also elevated and collated 4 priests of the diocese as canons of the cathedral and 2 others as archdeacons. In his sermon, the guest preacher and the Anglican Bishop of Mbamili Diocese, Right Reverend Dr. Obiora Uzochukwu, laid emphasis on the fact that everyone is called to God's work at different levels and should not be left only for the ordained. Bishop Uzochukwu charged Christians to carry out God's ministry in any position or place they find themselves. He also harped on the need for Christians to have a personal encounter with Jesus Christ in order to serve God truly and to do his enormous work of evangelism, while charging the newly ordained and elevated priests to develop their capacity by engaging in constant prayers and work of faith.
God said he wants us to grow. He wants the church to grow. He wants us to grow. He wants everyone, all hands to be on deck, that we will come to the fullness of Christ. We will come to maturity.
Later in an interview, the host bishop, Professor Okoye, charged the newly ordained and elevated to be faithful to God, who would never fail them to bear fruit and grow in their ministries.
Serve God who called you to this ministry. Be faithful to him. This God is there for us. He has commissioned them today and he has empowered them today. He will not fail them.
Venerable David Okafor, who was collated as an archdeacon of the diocese, remarked that it is a humble privilege to be called to higher responsibility and prayed that the grace of God would help him to discharge his duties and win more souls for Christ.
He has to sit up to our responsibilities, and individually we have to do that collectively. I believe from the Bible the one easiest way to curb evil is by enthroning righteousness.
Others who were ordained or elevated, including Reverends Chinedu Maduabuchukwu and Anthony Izundu, expressed happiness for the responsibility of shepherding God's flock in the diocese and assured that they are equal to the task of living up to their responsibilities through the strength that Christ gives them. A guest, Mr. Uzewulu Mbemena, emphasized that he has no doubt in the capacity of the newly ordained in helping the ministry handed over to them to grow, while Mrs. Choma Okafor, a wife to one of the newly collated archdeacons, promised that she will help her husband in doing the work of Christ through the grace of God, not minding the challenges. The ordination service featured oath-taking and collation rites, hymn rendition, and thanksgiving by the newly ordained and elevated. From Ihiala, it's been Kenechukwu Chukwudi for ABS News.
Journalists have been called upon to always avoid sensationalism, be fair and balanced in their daily reportage in the interest of the society. Correspondent Emmanuel Okuko reports that the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Awka Capital Development Authority, ACDA, Mr. O.C. Onuku, made the call during this month's Nigerian Union of Journalists NUJ Anambra State Council's Congress held at NUJ Secretariat, Awka. His reports.
ACDA MD, represented by Mr. Jiko Koye, acknowledged the importance of journalists in national development, advocated real practice of freedom of the press in Nigeria, and emphasized the need for government officials and lawmakers to help in ensuring that the press access public information freely and easily for the good of the society. He called on journalists to always be professional in discharging their duties as information managers.
Journalists, on their part, should aim at fair, balanced information that is devoid of sensation.
In a speech, the state chairman of the NUJ, Dr. Emeka Odogu, commended the cooperation of the members for the progress of the union and called on them to put in more efforts in promoting the union, even as he encouraged them to up their games as the eyes and mouth of the society and never to compromise their responsibilities for anything. Regretted the recent demise of one of the members of the union, Comrade Nneka Adoliefo of the Anambra Broadcasting Service, Dr. Odogu said the deceased was committed and dedicated to the activities of the union till death, describing her death as a big loss to the union and prayed for eternal repose of her soul. He advised members of the NUJ to take their health seriously, seek advice, and share their challenges with people around them for timely assistance, stressing that problem shared is problem solved.
But as we reflect on the activities of the year, I will urge them to rethink in areas they have not done well, to rethink in areas they think they need to sharpen for better access and better activities and better support for the state.
In a remark, the matriarch of the union, Professor Stella Okunna, rated journalists in Anambra high in the discharge of their duties and tasked them on continuous personal development and improvement in the journalism profession.
I'm happy about performance. Yes, we're also doing well, but no amount of doing well will prevent us from also urging journalists to keep improving our performance.
During the Congress, members of the union were given opportunity to air their views on how best to move the union forward, and a minute silence was also observed in honor of the departed member, Comrade Anoliefo. In Oka, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
On national matters, the leadership of the National Association of Nigerian Students has urged the federal government to freeze the nation's refineries to enable the country to end fuel importation. This is as NAS decried the continued fuel importation under President Bola Tinubu, saying that this will continue to hurt the economy and worsen the forest crisis currently hitting the nation hard. The students' leadership said that President Tinubu should, as a matter of urgency, order Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited to take concrete steps in repairing the country's faulty refineries, insisting that only this will make Nigeria attain self-sufficiency in oil production. Now, Senate President Elvis Ekudina, who disclosed this in a statement, said that Nigeria would not achieve rapid economic growth if it continues to import petroleum products from foreign countries. The association maintained that the federal government must address the current energy crisis caused by an acute shortage of petrol in the Nigerian market by not only repairing the country's refineries, but also ensuring that they work at optimal capacity. On the foreign scene, a major University of Pennsylvania donor has withdrawn $100 million grant after a controversial appearance in Congress by the school's president. In an email, Rosie Stevens said he was appalled Elizabeth Magill avoid questions about how students calling for the genocide of Jews would be punished. She was grilled by the politicians about anti-Semitism on campus. Ms. Magill has since apologized, but her remarks have led to resignation calls. U.S. college campuses have seen angry protests and rising incidents of anti-Semitism since the war between Israel and Hamas erupted 2 months ago. Ms. Magill appeared in the House of Representatives alongside the presidents of Harvard and MIT, Claudia Gale and Charlie Campbell. They were asked by the Republican New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate your university's code of conduct or rules regarding bullying and harassment? Yes or no? Ms. Magill and her MIT and Harvard counterparts did not reply yes or no, but said in varying ways that it depends on the context. This has been a widespread lash since, with the White House condemning the remarks. In sport, Minister of Sport Development, Senator John Eno, has stated that the second edition of the National Para Games holds immense potential for discovering and unearthing new talent who will represent the nation with pride in the world of para sports in the near future. The minister made the statement during a briefing in Abuja as the nation eagerly awaits the opening ceremony of the 2023 National Para Games on Friday. The Games holds in Abuja from December 8th to 14th. The minister said it is a platform to showcase the incredible talent and determination of Nigerian athletes with disability. He expressed confidently that this event will unearth new stars who will go on to achieve great things for the nation on the international stage. Stars like Yakubu Adesonka, Lucy Ejike, Esther Onyama, Eukaria Iyazi, and others have been successful for the team Nigeria over the years, but they are approaching the twilight of their careers. The Bishop-elect of Tree of Life Gospel Ministry, Right Reverend Arinze Chukwuka, has encouraged the children of late Mother Selina Diallo in Iyora, Anambra West local government area to maintain unity and uphold the legacy of their late mother. This appeal was made during the funeral service of the deceased, Ne Okeke, who passed away at the age of 64. Correspondent Emmanuel Chibata for the report.
A sermon titled The Sacredness of the Family, the bishop consoled the bereaved family and emphasized the significance of family as a covenant by blood. He expressed concern about society turning away from the sacredness and the union of family, attributing the decline in morals to this neglect. Highlighting the impact of wrong family dynamics on society, the bishop urged sympathizers to introspect and restore order within their own families.
People have turned their back on the sacredness of family. People have turned their back on that union of family. Foundation of everything. And family.
The children of the deceased, Messrs. Okuchukwu and Jacob Udalo, along with her daughter, Mrs. Hannah Nweke, remembered their mother as a peaceful, loving and caring individual, expressing their deep sense of loss.
My mom, she's a very nice woman. She was a very nice woman when she was alive. And I felt bad, for losing her at this very age.
Condolences and dance by the deceased children capped the event, while the deceased is survived by 6 children.
That's the news tonight, but remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at Anambra Broadcasting Service. Subscribe to our YouTube page at ABS Television Oka. On Twitter at ABS Radio TV. On Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. The main point again, Anambra State government has sent still warning to all criminals, miscreants. NLC Women Committee has visited ABS MD 6 end to gender-based violence. NAS has called on FG to freeze refineries and fuel importation. On the foreign scene, we told you University of Pennsylvania has lost $100 million grant over anti-Jewish remark. To end the news, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the task ahead. Thanks for watching. My name is Chinyere Ikoreke. Good night.